Got another Fireside Notebook episode. Hey, look, we dropped an episode, me, Ryan, and Sam. It is now baseball's turn, and I am so thrilled for it because obviously it is my favorite sport. The bad side of kind of it being baseball's turn is it's baseball's turn to report some injuries. They got 3 stars: Lindor, Corbin Carroll, Jackson Holliday. Jackson Holliday, budding star maybe, or like hopefully a star, number 1 overall pick a little bit ago. Have the hamate fractures. Now they're going to be out 6 to 8 weeks with the surgery. Ryan and I talked about it on the episode with Sam as well, that the last thing to kind of come back is the power. So there is some concern there. Now, this is Dr. David Chow, and I thought this was a great video. I wanted to play and kind of discuss it.
3 hamate fractures: Corbin Carroll, Francisco Lindor, and Jackson Holliday. What does it mean? What is the hamate? It's a hook bone at the base of the hand. It's important for grip. Catchers sometimes get it because the fastballs or whatever to the unprotected part of the glove, and it's very important for hitters on grip. What is the surgery? The good news is surgery is very reliable. The bad news is the bone doesn't heal very well because of the hook.
It is wild that all 3 of these got announced like within 24 hours. It's not, I guess it's not a super rare injury, but at the same time, having 3 guys in that like 24-hour mark, like boom, 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 was like, oh shit, like what's going on? And obviously, like it has its WBC implications too. We won't really get into that right now, but guys that Corbin Carroll was going to play for Team USA, and now that's no longer the case. So
nature and the shape of it. So surgery is not to actually fix the fracture in terms of repair. It is to remove the tip or the hook that is broken, typically to get rid of the pain. This makes recovery fairly reliable, fairly quick, 4 to 6 weeks to be able to do things, but usually a couple of months to feel like you're 100%.
And where that 100% is missing, per everyone that I've listened to, is the power. Like the power gets zapped, and it's hard to kind of get that back. Not that these guys are like super power reliant, but like you don't want like little guys to like lose some of that power, especially Corbin Carroll and Frankie Lindor especially.
Depends on, are you right-handed, left-handed? Did it happen to your right hand, left hand? Is it your power grip hammer on the baseball bat? Is it the glove side, the throwing side? Lots of variables.
Yeah, I do wonder because obviously like switch hitter versus not switch hitter, like how. Like, is the power only gone on one side?
In the 3 different hamate fractures. But it does seem like these players will miss opening day. They will play and be 100% this season. It's a matter of when. I'd say the timeline to return to play can be as early as 6 to 8 weeks, but probably 3 to 4 months before they feel like they're 100% in what they're able to do. Once again, depending on the position, type of hamate fracture and surgery, and right side, left side, and their handedness, etc. Go to sicscore.com for the latest. Corbin Carroll, Francisco Lindor, Jackson Holliday, their recovery timelines will be different, and we'll cover it at sicscore.com.
I am interested to see when spring training starts, like where is Mr. Bo Bichette playing? Because they hold the knob of the bat. Where's Mr. Bo Bichette playing? Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really, really interesting. Obviously, they signed Bo Bichette to that huge deal. It's like, all right, do you trust him to play short, or do you go get some? I don't know. Dude, the White Sox are easily the most hilarious organization in baseball. Like, they're hilarious. What they went 100 games once upon a time, and now we've got this. Sam Phelan, great job by many of you for flagging this. Here's 4 different times this season where GM Chris Getz is referred to. I always botch his first name. The little Acuna as a switch hitter. Acuna is in fact not a switch hitter. Not great. 4 times is not a misspeak.
He's got all.
Obviously, like, I don't know. He was involved in the Luis Robert trade, which I love. I think like Luis Robert to the Mets could end up being a really huge thing, someone with major upside. I mean, we watched Andrew Vaughn go from the White Sox, where he wasn't that great, to all of a sudden like a major contributor to the Brewers, and how much of it is, okay, like I have a chance to now contribute to winning baseball. Let me go do that. And with the outfield market being the way it is, like $20 million for Luis Robert feels like a good deal. And now this is the White Sox GM talking about one of the guys that got in return. And look, little Acuna is not a switch hitter.
He's got a lot of potential. He can play all over the diamond. He's a strong defender, base runner. switch hitter. He can do a lot of different things to help you win.
I want to bring someone in that you're excited about, right? And our evaluations on Acuna are very strong, for the reasons you stated. Very strong defensively, switch hitter. He can run. He's got great instincts.
To bring in a player that is young.
It's like a part of his spiel when talking about Acuna. It's like he's a switch hitter. Like that's like one of the things. It's like plus side, negative side. And I guess like one time is a misspeak, that's fair, but we are now not just like one event, 3 different misspeaks. We're talking about 4 different venues. He has a quote unquote error like this.
Who's got pedigree, he's got bloodlines with his brother, can play all over the field. He's a switch hitter. He's one of the top base runners in the game.
For him to have 4 home run nights,
right.
That would be fantastic.
Yes.
This is a guy, his high contact ability, switch hitter. He's got gap to gap power, and he's got some home run power there as well.
He's got a lot of potential.
Hilarious from the White Sox. I saw this and just immediately started laughing. And then it's like, why are we doing? Oh my God, Sam getting attacked for this, I thought was insane. Or maybe he's actually working on becoming a switch hitter. I don't think he would misspeak 4 different times. That certainly beats the alternative, but I feel like that would be more public information. No reports of him working from the left side in the Venezuelan League. I imagine that can change, but the development gets specifically highlighted as new rather than existing profile. Yeah, he did act like it was an existing profile. Seems odd. There's no proof of Acuna hitting left-handed, but also would feel weird if gets to misspeak about the same topic so many times. Just we'll have to wait and see. So now, he's never proven he can hit right-handed, so I guess it's worth giving lefty a shot. So now, we've, before spring training starts, we've got the White Sox botching Munetaka Murakami's nameplate in the locker room. And then we've got the GM referring to one of their newly acquired players as a switch hitter over and over and over. That's 3 and over again, even though he's not a switch hitter. I feel like he needs to come out and just take at least one at bat from the left side to save some face. Or, this is the ultimate fleece job by the Mets by telling him, yeah, he's a switch hitter. You guys need switch hitters. It's, you could play every day. Don't have to platoon heavy him. So thought that was just generally hilarious by the Mets. I thought this was fascinating. The Zips projections came out, and there's only one team to not have a single hitter with 20-plus home runs in the big 2026, and that single team is the Boston Red Sox. I never would have thought this was possible. I've seen Roman Anthony all over all kinds of top 10, left or right fielder lists. So I wondered to that to be the case. Now, I would be surprised if they had no one hit over 20 home runs, but it does speak to kind of maybe some of the errors with the front office, right? Like trading Devers, cool, awesome, you did that, and you brought in Bregman. So you have Bregman to hammer down third to kind of be the guy that can kind of do it. You don't feel comfortable kind of with his market, so you let him walk. And now you're going to be relying on a bunch of young cats to kind of do damage in the lineup. I think they will have someone to hit 20 home runs. I could definitely see Roman Anthony hitting 20 home runs this year. That would not shock me at all. But I did think it fascinating that Zips didn't project them to have any players with 20 home runs. And Sam was in our group chat yesterday texting. Kind of discussing the idea of do we like the Orioles lineup more than we like the Red Sox lineup? Is there a world where that's the thing? Now, obviously, the Red Sox have better pitching, but to not have a single hitter projected with 20 home runs, to me, it's okay, the front office did not do a good enough job. Now, could it be wrong? Absolutely. Could Zips be wrong? Absolutely. But it definitely is something that you look at, and it's don't really love that. But I do think Roman Anthony's going to hit 20 home runs, though. Me, personally, the Chris Drew projections. Fuck a Zips projection. No, just kidding. Don't mean that. Luke Weaver showed up to Mets. Luke Weaver showed up to Mets spring training. Pitchers and catchers reported with a Yankees bag. Now, he's a higher paid reliever, but he showed up with a Yankees bag. And Michael Kay criticized him for that. And he, I guess, got a lot of heat. This was his reply.
Yesterday, I made a comment on the show regarding Luke Weaver walking into the facility at Port St. Lucie, carrying his Yankee equipment bag. And I said, out of respect to your new employer who's paying you $22 million over the next 2 years, anything, a Whole Foods bag, whatever the case may be, you don't bring a Yankee bag into the Met facility.
Which I feel this. I agree with Michael Kay on this one. I do think it's a weird thing to kind of like, not a weird thing. I mean, obviously, like when it's your job to kind of like cover the city of New York entirely, and you're primarily a Yankees guy, like you could, yeah, like that's fine. I kind of agree. Now, obviously, like I have not listened to Michael Kay extensively about every single person reporting, so I don't know if he's been this critical of like other people walking in with bags or whatever. But no, in the college football world, it's like I've heard Deion Sanders talk about it. Like, don't come here, even if you show up for whatever, with anything from one of your previous schools. Just don't do it. Out of respect for me and the program that you're coming to right now, the program you chose, do not do that. So that's what Michael Kay was kind of saying beforehand.
I said, out of respect to the Mets. I'm telling you what, anything I say, and Ray Deanahan, my brilliant producer, has told me this over and over again. I'm never going to win over a segment of that fan base, ever. I'm defending the New York Mets, saying that Luke Weaver should respect them and have called for a Met bag or any other bag rather than the Yankee equipment bag. And I like Luke Weaver. And Met fans come out, hey, mind your business. Who cares? We don't care. He's going to have his Met bag in 2 minutes once he walks into the... I can't win with you lunatics.
The funniest thing about this Michael Kay thing is he's right. You can't win over the whole internet. But it generally feels like, and here we go, Michael Kay is a little bit older. He's been in the industry, obviously, a long time. And I'm someone that's got my start in radio as well. And I don't want to ever say that I know more than Michael Kay, and I'll never kind of insinuate that. But one of the things that I think is hilarious and awesome with a lot of these like long time like radio vets is how readily available criticism for them is, right? Because previously, like the whole time Michael Kay was growing up, because here we go, my mentor is Jeff Kinsbach. He was a legend in Cleveland radio. And he would always talk about like in the era he grew up with, there was like not the social media thing. Like I couldn't like read criticism of my show as it's happening online. It was like, if it was criticism, it was like one person calling, but for the most part, like a lot of the calls were really, really positive. I feel like to get a rant like this out of Michael Kay, all an intern has to do over there at ESPN New York is show him the internet. And it'll fire him up because he's someone that's not used to, I mean, for the large part of his career, not used to what he deems as non-controversial takes getting met with so much vitriol, but non-controversial takes get met with vitriol on the internet when you are big enough and people already have these baked-in preconceived notions about you.
Defending you, and you turn on me. And what I'm going to say, be careful what you wish for. Because if you really want me to be a jackass, I can play that role beautifully. I really could. Sometimes I hold myself back because I don't want to be that guy who's always anti-Met or whether the case. I'm defending the Mets yesterday, and there's a sub-segment of you people that jump me for that. Like, I can't even talk about the Mets without being criticized. Can't even say a word.
This is like giving that subsect to the Met fans also like all the energy in the world. They're like, oh my God, like not only do I know that Michael Kay like reads my comments, but I know it pisses him off. I know it pisses him off. And I know that if I keep going, Michael Kay might have some internet rabbit ears, or maybe someone's like, hey, look what they're saying about you, Michael, because they know that they're going to get some like a gold segment like this. But he's going to turn up, and he's kind of been doing it more and more the last like 18 months. Like more and more acknowledgement of some of the underbelly of the baseball internet that like doesn't like him, particularly the Mets internet that does not like him.
Can't even say a word. So even if I defend you, you don't want to hear it. So my advice to every single one of you, don't listen to the show. Don't consume the show. Don't watch the show on the ESPN New York YouTube channel. Don't. Unless you want to hate watch it.
I wonder how the boss over there felt about that. Don't watch the show.
I guess that's cool. But that was really an eye-opener for me. I can't win. And this is not a woe is me nonsense. I just can't win. There's no way that I can win. I'm actually defending the Met organization that a guy that they brought in and paid all this money walks in with a Yankee bag. And I get ripped for it.
This also might have been like, we got to fill 5 more minutes, Michael, to get to commercial break. That there's like hard times and soft times. We got to fill 5 more minutes. What you got for us, kind of thing. And you realize, maybe like sometimes when that happens, like I guess I've been in radio, but also he's a pro, so he knows what he's doing. But for me, sometimes when I had my sports radio show in Akron, if I had a cutoff time and had to get to commercial break by like 20 or whatever, and I went 17 minutes on a segment, and my one segment went long, but my next segment is written to be like 11 minutes, and I don't want to break it apart with a commercial break, I would kind of ad-lib the final 3 minutes instead of starting the segment and then whatevering, and then having to break it apart. So I would like do my 17, do my 3 like on ad-lib, and then at the end of it tease what I was going to talk about in the next segment after the commercial break. This may have been one of those things because he is kind of being repetitive. It is, I'm defending and I can't win. I'm defending, you guys, and I can't win. It's kind of like say the sentence, reshuffle, say the sentence, reshuffle, say the sentence, reshuffle. So that partially makes me think, okay, like, look, he was just trying to get to the commercial break and then go from there. But it did turn out gold to me.
So what? He got a Met bag when he got – yeah, but walking through when the photographer's taking a picture, he's got a Yankee bag, the NY interlocking NY Yankee logo, and number 30. And it's a midnight blue bag, not the light blue bag like the Mets.
You almost called it the clown blue.
But it's a midnight blue Yankee bag. Now, Devin Williams today walked into Port St. Lucie, and you know what bag he was carrying? An All-Star bag. Perfect. Perfect, right?
That's great radio. 2 guys that came from New York to go to the Mets. He was really clear. Hey, look. He did it the wrong way. He did it the right way. That's why I'm shocked that any fans are even going to push back at him at all. Because right way, wrong way.
Doesn't say anything about the Yankees carrying an All-Star bag. Luke Weaver's caught carrying a Yankee bag. I defend the Mets, and I get ripped. Can't win. And I don't care. You know what? I don't care. Ray Dean once told me they'll never like you, ever. And I don't think they will like me. I just want respect. There's nothing I could do. I could actually save a bunch of Met fans from a fire, run into a building, and get all the Met fans out. And they would rip me. Oh, Gary Cohen would have done it better than that. He would have done it better than you because you're a hack. So you're right. I can't win.
Dude, people in media hate being called hacks. Oh, gosh. Okay, this is big spring training news. Hey, and I am going to do a spring training, like, who to watch for. This is the Chris Drew list, Chris's version. Shout out Taylor. Every spring training venue now has Statcast coverage per league sources. All 30 MLB teams will have public pitch and batted ball data for every game this spring. That is huge for all the stat guys. I'm excited to see it. I'm not as deep underwater in this stat guys, but here we go. If the stat guys community was a pool, like a big pool, I am somebody who goes under the first line to where the water's like up right below my nipple, right? Like that's about as high as I go. Now some guys, like my guy Ryan, he's someone that he'll go diving board into the deep end that goes like down 30, 40 feet. His ears pop, might need scuba gear. That's how deep he is. Me, I'm just the water just below, like just below the nipple, like right here. So for me, just below the nipple stat guy, I'm excited about it. But also like recommend if you are honestly, if you're just below the nipple guy or maybe like an abdominal guy, like that's what I think Sam is, like, water up to the abs. If you're that kind of guy, I would recommend following TJ Stats. Does a fucking incredible job. Dude, just to continue my Pirates love fest, man. I sent this to Ryan and Sam, and I was geeking about it, dude. They crack me up. Because the new... Fuck, I didn't bookmark it. All right, here we go. This is North Shore 9. Don't look now, but things are getting interesting in Pittsburgh. With Acuna in the lineup, Fangraphs now projects the Pirates to finish second in the division and gives them a 43% chance to make the playoffs. That's right there with the Cubs and Brewers. Is this finally the year Let them know what you think. We are gearing up for, if he's healthy, to if they're 3 games back or whatever of a wild card spot, and it's how many times can we pitch Paul Skeens? How many times can we pitch Paul Skeens? And I am excited for it because here we go. I think Paul Skeens is the kind of guy that, not for the whole year, but would do the CC Sabathia thing when he was with the Brewers for a month if it meant a chance to make the playoffs. I think that Paul Skeens is prime time. He's big time. He is, the Cooper flag of the MLB. Like he is all of that. He's chosen. He's the best pitcher on the planet going into year 2. So yes, the answer is yes all the way around, or year 3. Fuck, I don't know, dude. Time fucking flies. But whatever. I think it's setting up a situation where it's like, okay, like he has that kind of personality. And the Pirates know they're not not worried about his long-term health. It could set up a perfect marriage to where he pitches on short rest a couple times in a row to like kind of give them a playoff spot. So I'm excited for the Pirates, but that's like way, way, way projecting. But again, 43% chance to make the postseason. I thought this was cool by Filipino. Shout out Andrew, the Pony Express. Kyle Schwarber salary $30 million. Kyle Schwarber in 2025 RBIs 132. The group that the Pirates signed, combined salary $39 million, combined RBIs 214. The Pirates made the right call this offseason, spreading out their money. Now, it is funny because this is a crazy spin, and Tom Adams points out, but the Pirates take 3 spots in the lineup. So 214, 72 RBIs per in a lineup spot. Schwarber is 1 lineup spot, producing 100-plus RBIs. But it is a fun thing that Pirates fans can be excited about, so I will not take their joy out of it. Now, this is a joy taker. I love Jared Jones, dude. I think he's great. Jared Jones has been placed on the 60-day IL, so he will not be back for a little while. Now, obviously, like, we're hopeful for his recovery. He's going to be a guy that's going to play big in the second half because if he's in the lineup, this is a young rotation that has a chance to really pop. Skeens, Mitch Keller, Bubba Chandler, who I'm really excited for. As a college football guy, I was excited for him when he committed to Clemson, I believe. And then he's kind of been on my radar ever since then because he opted not to go to Clemson and went to the Pirates. He was the number 1 pitcher prospect a year ago, so we'll see. Jared Jones, Mitch Keller, Paul Skeens, Bubba Chandler, like that feels good. It feels like kind of like what the Reds were last year. And again, last quick note on the Pirates, mainly because my boy Ron is a big Pirates fan too. $101 million. This is the Pirates' projected opening day payover for 2026, and it's expected to be the highest in franchise history. Go Pirates, go! Orioles getting better. Chris Bassett, 1 year, $18.5 million deal. The Orioles have had a very, very good offseason. They've added talent bat-wise. Obviously, they Pete Alonso. They got pitching. Like, this division, I feel like it's going to be really, really competitive, and I'm excited to see how it unfolds, but I just want to give that a mention because Chris was, I think, the best available pitcher. Did Zach Gallen sign yet? I don't think he did because I'm like a little biased towards Zach Gallen. Talks are heating up for starter Zach Gallen. Diamondbacks remain interested. So I guess he's got to be next, right? His stuff in ERA don't match a year ago. Obviously, the 4.8 ERA was not good, but Zach Gallen's got to be next up. But shout out the Orioles for kind of going for it. I love this sport. Best sport in the world. Top 15 player built like this. What a sport. Vladdy putting in work this offseason. He just... It's like, shout out Vladdy. The Phillies. Zach Wheeler has the rib that was removed. This is Friday.
The first rib. Yeah. What did you do with it? Paul preserved it for me. You have to do a bunch of stuff to it. So I guess, I don't know, something. I guess it doesn't decay. I don't know. But he did that for me, and I just have it sitting at the house.
Where in the house?
It's in my closet.
Yeah.
No, it's just like in it's like a little case.
Why'd you want to keep it?
I think probably everybody, they give it to you after the surgery. Right. And so the doctor walked in. He was like, usually I give these to people like a month later or like a week later or something. I forget what exactly he said, but he was like, I wanted to give it to you personally. So he just walked in and gave it to me like in a bag. That's pretty gross.
Baseball's back, so are weird Clubhouse questions. Love that.
Yeah.
IK's been talking his talk, man. Oh my goodness, he did his little talk about how happy he was that the Yankees beat the Red Sox because the Yankees were the worst team and it was a better matchup for them. And he cost his whole country a World Series, but whatever. This.
No regrets, when you look back on that. I mean, everything was the way
I can't hear the question.
Yeah, it's an organizational policy. Yeah. I think the biggest regret for me, I wouldn't say regret, because that was the way that I had, and if he doesn't slip, it might have been a double play. So I had the right intention the whole time. The biggest regret was there's no cameras in my face after the game. So I think that was the toughest thing for me, was if it was going to be such a big deal, it would have been nice to have the camera in my face and have a chance to speak. But it blew up without me getting a proper interview, so I thought that was unfair. Like everybody was just kind of going off of it without me really being able to talk about the play. So, it was that was tough. But at the end of the day,
he could have went and fucking talked about the play. It sounds like a woe is me kind of deal.
I did what I was told, and it was an organizational policy, and we win as a team, we lose as a team, and there was a lot of opportunities to win before that, and we didn't do it. So that wasn't the sole reason we lost. And
I mean, I guess like that is fair. Like not the sole reason we lost, but like if he scores there, they win. And so like that's like an easily pointable like an exact moment where you could say, oh, you won or lost the series with that moment. So I don't know. He's being a little bit disingenuous.
7-game series. A lot happened before that.
Yes, it's a 7-game series, but there's like winning plays and losing plays, right? And that's like a chance to win. And like the competitive guy in me would have been like, oh my God, I feel like maybe it's not true, but I feel like I cost your team the World Series, and I wish I could have had it back. So it feels a little woe is me, and a little bit like you guys made me the bad guy, even though I wasn't the bad guy. You guys blamed it on me when it really wasn't my fault. Which that can like. I always believe as a competitor, take ownership and let other people defend you and say what it is. Don't just, never mind.
And, it was a great learning experience. And I think at the end of the day, though, if I could do it over, I definitely would have got a couple steps out. But, you got to do what the organization wants. And that's kind of been the thing there. It's with the runners in that situation, they'd always keep the third base or the runner close. And if you saw the situation from the game before, Miles Straw was on third, and he did the exact same thing I did. But nobody looked at him because everybody's looking at Barger getting doubled off. So, there's not really.
Yeah, this feels a lot like crying, bro. Bad press appearance. But we like good stuff. Acuna Jr. Baseball's better when Acuna Jr. is out there. Baseball's better when he is. That's a mammoth shot from Acuna. I'm healthy now. Just ridiculously talented. Maybe the most single like he's like Allen Iverson level talented. Like that's what he is. More Phillies news. I should have organized this a little bit better. Nick Castellanos is now reporting to spring training camp, and so we have a radio drop about it.
Here's a number that
I'm going to do more of these. I love local baseball radio. It's maybe my favorite thing about radio.
The Phillies probably don't want you to hear. Nick Castellanos as a Philly is over. Nick Castellanos hit 260 as a Philly. That's good. He had a good career as a hitter as a Philly. It's not a great hitter. It's not a $20 million a year hitter. He did average out. He had 82 home runs in 4 seasons in part-time play. I believe it would have translated out if he had not had his playing time taken away at the end. He would have translated out to around 22 home runs a year in his career.
Right, which is not, listen.
Which isn't what $20 million they wanted.
Yes.
I'd say they wanted 26, 27, 28.
But if they were to go back and do that deal again, looking at everything, I think that you get much worse investment from some players than you got from Nick Castellanos on that deal.
Right.
The thing about baseball that will always be the case, a lot of these big deals will age poorly, period. Big deals age poorly because agents do their job, and to land someone on the front half, you're going to have to go to an uncomfortable place. And so these contracts will just normally just age poorly, period. But my issue is, sometimes when things age poorly, your whole world view of a player changes, and you only remember the last 2 years rather than the overall product until way later when you see, a page on Twitter post all these baseball highlights from when they were, peak of powers, right? And I think Yankees fans kind of do that with DJ LeMahieu a little bit. Like, the contract aged poorly, but DJ LeMahieu was a good player for them early on.
It was an average move that was a fit for this team for a long time. Now it's over.
Nick Castellanos, 82 RBIs a year. Not bad.
No.
But here's one for you that they don't want you to hear. Nick Castellanos in the last 4 postseasons, 6 home runs. With Harper, with Schwarber right there, 20 RBIs. Harper has 24. Real Muto has 22 over those 4 years. Schwarber and Castellanos each have 20.
I mean, he kind of, in terms of, famous on the Phillies was part of their core 4. So I did wonder, how, Phillies radio would feel. And generally speaking, I talked about, I'm, the nipples in guy, nipple stat guy. Usually, radio guys, because I've worked around them. They're great. They're more, vibes and feels guys, right? And memories guys. They do the radio calls. They're more when you sit on the side of the pool and, put your feet in and eat your hot dog, and it's the ball goes into the pool, you send somebody else in there to go get it. That's what the radio people are, generally speaking.
The Phillies don't want to publicize that.
Yeah.
That when the lights were brightest, Nick Castellanos came through just as much as their other big-name players did. And to me, I just think that has to be said about Nick Castellanos on his way out the door.
Shout out 97.5. I worked for 97.5, actually, but here in Northeast Ohio. We'll throw that out there. All right, here we go. The Luis Ortiz's counsel wants a separate trial for Emmanuel Clase. Why? Because to prove Ortiz's innocence, they argue they have to assert Clase's guilt. This should be shaping up to be an old-fashioned cage match. How Luis Ortiz started moving when he heard 60 years in federal prison.
Saying nothing. I ain't saying nothing.
Life without parole.
It was him. That dude hiding behind that girl right there. I ain't saying nothing.
I just want to say,
it was.
I just want to say, this man right here, Austin Hedges, called Clase the greatest closer of all time, and then everything went left. Also, I love WAR. It's the funniest stat in all of I think all the major sports. In large part because I think it's a good stat. I like the WAR stat, but I think in large part it's misunderstood. And there's got 2 almost political parties: anti-war, pro-war, and without understanding everything that goes into it, you get these funny things like this. And I did a video on Adam Dunn a while back. I love Adam Dunn. Shout out Cincy, and a couple of Cleveland guys, or not Cleveland guys, a couple of Ohio guys got the C's on the hat, 2 different C's on the hat, a couple of negative 0.4 WAR seasons. 38 home runs to 7, 105 RBIs to 30, 2 stolen bases to 0, batting average 100 points higher, OBP, 150 points higher, slugging over double it, OPS 928 to 489, and OPS plus 144 to 42. Adams Dunn's glove is absurdly bad, and that's what I got for the Fireside Notebook. Hey, it's Baseball Storm. Make sure you like and sub. Follow our socials. Socials are all booming. Team's doing great. And Sam, Ryan, and I will be back soon.